Welcome to the Beesies.
I'm Abby.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Mackenzie.
Remember the college days when you were best friends with your roommates?
You would come home and talk about anything and everything together.
We miss this phase so much that we decided we needed this quality roommate time again.
So welcome to the Beesies. Come over and get cozy with your new favorite roommates. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Monday. The other night, actually it was last night, Scott was like just walking around our apartment singing like the intro music like,
Really?
over and over again. Yes.
Gets it stuck in his head?
Yeah, well, it's because I was getting the clips for like Instagram and stuff, and I played the beginning, and so he just kept like singing it, and I was like, you probably know this better than me.
True.
But
He's the ultimate stan.
Sometimes I try to think about it and I can't remember what it sounds
I don't
like.
know what it sounds like.
I'm trying to think right now. I feel like it's like
do.
I literally
Something like that.
Something
like that.
I've never heard that before in my life.
All right. Anyways.
I was rejected by Stanford today.
Huh? How
Yeah.
dare they?
I know. And I'm like,
Also,
why? Like, why did you do
Also,
this
I'm
to me?
confused.
do they
'Cause I
know
was
that
on
you're
the wait
already in
list.
law school?
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh,
on the
I
wait list,
see.
And I was like, you guys could have just like never told me. Like, you didn't need to
Yeah,
tell me
literally.
this. Like, I'm in law
I
school.
didn't
Like, I
need the
would have moved
rejection.
on without the rejection. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. That's okay. You're in a better place anyways for
So true.
for yourself. You picked the right choice.
So true. LA over everything.
Where is Stanford again? It's like is it just south
Bay
of the Bay
Area.
Area or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's close to
I
Berkeley.
literally thought it was in Southern California. So
I wish. That'd be amazing.
To me, like everything in Southern California is in like, okay, this is going to make no sense, but like, isn't Santa Barbara or like something like kind of more middle to north area?
It's like slightly north of LA, like 2 hours. But it's still kind of, I feel like it's still considered Southern California. Maybe.
Like in my mind, California is divided up into 3 sections. There is north, San Francisco. There is south, LA, San Diego, everything else. And then there's like mountains, which is like Yosemite. And so if something is in the LA area in my brain, but it's like, no, that's actually like Monterey to me,
Yeah.
south.
Oh.
It's not south.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
For
San
me,
Francisco's north.
it's
Yeah.
either in San Diego, Los Angeles, or Bay Area. There's nothing else.
That's basically,
just the 3.
yeah, there's basically
I mean,
nothing
basically true too.
I mean, not really.
Geography has
saying
never
hello?
been my like strong suit. Oh, like Santa Cruz, I'm looking at a map right now.
Nice.
Santa Cruz and San Jose and that whole area, I think they're in LA. Even though they literally are in the San Francisco area, it's like,
Yeah, that's
I
funny.
think LA. So I'm just stupid, but
No, you're not. We're teaching the listeners a geography
Geography.
lesson. Yeah. Yeah.
Winnie's trying to say hello. I don't know if you guys can see her, but
hi, Winnie. So have you guys heard all the big news happening in celebrity circles this week?
Yeah.
What's been...
Wait. Before we get into that, I have
Okay.
a question regarding last week's episode.
Oh,
yeah.
Last week we talked about gaslighting. And I was thinking this week, not about who's a gaslighter, but
Don't trigger
who
me.
is a gaslightee. Do you guys feel like you can be easily
Oh,
gaslit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that
Yeah.
way too.
Oh, like 1,000%.
My proof for this is that I believe everything I see on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh.
But also, wait.
I'm super gullible. So I will if you have a good like story to back yourself up, I will believe you 100%. But if like people use the traditional like gaslighting phrases of like you're crazy or you know that like I can pick it apart. I can tell when it's happening. But if you're like actually trying to convince me of something, I can believe it.
I'm a gaslighty.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's the side that I don't relate to would be where it's like someone telling me my emotions are wrong, but like just like telling me something is real that wasn't, or like that side 100%.
I always think
Interesting.
of like, so this past week, do you guys know the 8 passengers at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Only because of
Okay,
those
Oh my
we need to
gosh.
talk about this. We need to talk about this because this is like a situation where like I feel like this mom was like gaslighting everyone into like believing, well, no one really believed her, but she was saying, oh, my kids are fine. My kids are so much better because I parent this way and we're such a godlike family. And here she is abusing her kids behind the scenes, and it pisses me off so much that like people on the internet were like, red flag, red flag, red flag, this woman is crazy. And she's like, no, 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 you guys are the crazy ones. And it's like, no, you're crazy, you're abusing your children.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you know about this, Abby?
It's kind of sounding familiar, but I don't know specifically what you're talking about.
I'll give a quick recap. There is a YouTube vlogger family called the 8 Passengers. Ruby, Frankie, and her husband, Kevin Frankie. They've always been kind of like stricter parents. Like, for example, her 5 or 6-year-old daughter didn't pack her lunch, and she said she did. And so her teacher called and said, hey, your kid's hungry. Can you bring her a lunch? And her mom's like, no. Like, she's told me that she packed her lunch when she didn't. I'm not bringing her food.
Yeah.
And so things like that are like red flags, like that's, you know, pretty strict parenting. And then in 2020, she joined this girl, Jody, in this like parenting / counseling group called Connections. And
So wild.
they are very, very, very extreme. Like, it went from like, okay, you're kind of like cuckoo strict, to like they're talking about if there is a gay person or a trans person in your family, your children cannot be around that person because they're living in distortion and they're not living in truth. And this whole
That's
like
intense.
Yeah, this whole like living in truth, like they said, oh, it's aligned with God's principles, but at the same time, they were the ones that were like deciphering what's true and what's distortion. So it's like their own little like cult thing. Anyways, this past
Classic.
week, both Ruby and her business partner Jody were charged with child abuse because Ruby's 12-year-old son climbed out of Jody's window and went to her neighbor's house, and he had duct tape wrapped around his wrists and his ankles, and he was asking for food and water, and like her kids needed medical care because they were so malnourished.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay, this is kind of ringing a bell. I feel like I have heard a little bit about this, but I obviously don't know any of this information. So I kind of know what you're talking about. But anyways, keep going.
But it's just crazy. I think she has her first hearing on Friday the 8th, I believe at 1:30 Utah time.
I will be tuning in.
But it's just like so crazy. Like, family vloggers are insane, and there needs to be more like legislation to protect these kids.
Seriously.
Yeah. They scare me, honestly.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That's actually like a nightmare, and oh, my heart hurts for those kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And well, there's in 2022 she went to her child's school and like made a big fuss and a big scene because her kids dance class, they were doing like a compilation of like TikTok dances, and one of the TikTok dances was to apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. And so she like went to board meetings and like posted on YouTube like, oh my goodness, we are having children dance to this pornographic song. And she had like this quote, like she's like, one day we're all going to have to account for how we protected our children in front of God. And it's like, here's this woman who is literally abusing her children, talking about we're going to stand before God and like, oh my gosh. It's
that
just
makes
ridiculous.
me so angry.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's really rage. I didn't know who they were until like a couple months ago, and then I found like a couple TikToks about them and like went down a huge rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then like all of this stuff this week, and it's seriously like it makes me so sad. There's like a picture that surfaced from a couple years ago of her oldest son doing like a signal, like his like palm like this
the like
or something.
help me or something like that.
Yes,
I can't remember what it is. Something like that.
Yeah, on TikTok you could probably find it, but her oldest son like basically in a picture like signaling like help me, and this was like years ago even. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, this has been going on for so long.
And that son in particular, I mean, I guess there's no way to know if he was like signaling for help in that picture.
Yeah.
But he was sent to like a wilderness camp like a couple years ago. And he, like one of his punishments at home was like they took away his bed and he had to sleep on a beanbag for months.
Didn't they take away his door at one point too?
I think so.
Why?
But
has anything come out about why he was being punished or why he went to this camp?
That one, I think there was something that came out like why they took his bed away, but it was like not a reasonable.
Yeah.
Like it was
like
something
usually
pretty
guys
small.
go to these camps because they're like gay or having like homosexual tendencies, and
No, I don't think.
So they're like, we'll send you to this camp. So I was just wondering.
The bed one
I
was
think it
for
was
pranking
like-
his little brother.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like literally pranking
Which
him
is so
and making him think they were going to Disneyland at 2 a.m. and then he got his bed taken away for 7 months.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally for playing a prank on his brother. The wilderness camp, I don't know if it's the exact same one, but I had a friend I actually met at EFY in high school who had gone to like, I don't know if it was the same one, but a similar one. And it was just because like his parents thought that he was like a delinquent and like I think he was like doing drugs or something like that, but like not anything like actually that crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like it's like kind of
Like-
more common up there.
Yeah, I mean, going to those yeah. Sometimes I feel like I've heard stories that they're so dramatic, like there's this dramatic thing and we're sending you to this camp, whatever. But most of the time it's for like minor things that can be seen as like needing God's correction or
So
whatever. And yeah. That
but-
makes me so angry.
No, like go search it. I've been like fuming about it. I'm so angry. And the oldest daughter, Sherry, she is 20, I think, and she hasn't been in contact with her mom for like maybe a year or two. And she posted on Instagram when her mom got arrested and said like, finally, we've been working behind the scenes for years trying to get like CPS involved, and like finally like justice is going to be served.
Oh my gosh.
But
So stupid.
it's one of those things where like this could have easily been like a Lori Vallow situation where like her kids could have died in God's name. Like,
Yeah.
so
Just so scary.
yeah. And I don't know why maybe she has been, but like she should have been excommunicated months ago because she's like starting her own little cult.
That's
Yeah, I
terrifying.
don't understand that.
Oh, this is literally like it's these things and these stories that make me like hate religion more, just because of the way people like use it.
Yeah.
And it just can be it's just like so bad sometimes.
There's someone on TikTok that says that they were in the same jail cell as Ruby, and she's been like apparently like just silently praying,
Oh
and
my gosh.
she hasn't shown a ton of remorse, and like she's been like kind of emotionless about it. And
Well, in her mind, she probably is like, I'm being like, the world hates people who love God. Like the world is moving away from God.
Right.
And like she's a
She
martyr.
sees
Total
Yep.
martyr. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
And that's what's scary, like that people can have that kind of complex where they think that they are above the law.
Yeah.
They can abuse their children because God told them to. Like
Yeah.
that is scary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, God is not telling you to abuse your children.
Yeah.
No. And if you are, you're
Just plain
really
and
listening to
simple.
the wrong God. Like,
Literally.
Yeah.
just think that through. Think that through.
Yeah.
But in
Also-
her eyes, I bet she doesn't think that it's abuse. I think she
Yeah.
thinks it's like, this
Well,
is how you
'cause
take accountability.
You look back at stories like
Ugh.
Abraham and Isaac, and it's like, well, that was a sign of faithfulness,
Yeah.
and like this is just me being put to the test or
Right.
whatever. Like, there's so
God
many
works in
examples
mysterious ways.
that support those things. Yeah.
I don't like those
Oh.
mysterious ways personally.
Yeah.
She'll probably
Wow.
start her
Also,
own
sorry,
little
my
cult.
phone. Yeah. My phone was about to die, so I had to plug it in. So everything's fine now, but sorry.
Well,
Oh my
hi, Winnie.
goodness.
Winnie is angry.
Sorry, lots going on over at our house. Winnie, oh my gosh.
So that's what I've been invested in this week. What stories have you guys
Okay, wait,
been
I wanna
invested
say-
in this week?
Thinking about the
Yeah.
gaslighty thing, I know
Yeah.
I'm a gaslighty because just recently I was thinking about the fact that sometimes when Jacob and I like have arguments, he'll be like, and I was just thinking recently how this is such gaslighter behavior, which heart hands to Jacob, but sometimes people be gaslighting. But we'll argue and he'll be like, you're literally like yelling right now, like why are you doing this? And I was just thinking about it because I always say like, no, I'm not. Like I'm not
Oh,
yelling.
that makes
But
me
I'm
mad.
thinking about it and I'm like, excuse me, but am I not the quietest person in the world?
yeah. I'm like, even your yelling would be talking.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, it's a struggle for me to yell. So I was just thinking about that and I'm like, wow, gaslighter. I know I'm not yelling.
Yeah, there's no chance that you're yelling.
That's what I'm saying. I think he just thinks the second my
Wow.
voice is like louder than a mouse, I'm yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Then you're
that's the thing.
yelling.
He knows it's yelling for you, so it's
That's
like
also true.
it's not like, "Ow, you're hurting my ears." It's like, "Jenny,
Yeah.
calm yourself," or whatever.
I guess that's true.
Which
but-
is still
Yeah.
like, I don't like it when people get called out for yelling in arguments or like something like that, where it's kind of a
Just way to cut it off.
what's the word? Yeah, it's kind of like a misdirection
Yeah.
where it's like used as a distraction from what the real point is. It's like,
Exactly.
that's not the problem here. Me yelling is not the problem here. You're not listening to me. You're trying to like kind of put me down and be like,
Yeah.
whoa, like you're getting out of hand. And it's like, you said something stupid that made me get out of hand. Like, let's not place the blame on me. It's that stuff.
This
that-
is your
Yes.
fault that I'm
Oh.
acting crazy.
Yes, Abby, tell Jacob.
Yeah. Not saying it's always that way, but like whenever I hear
Usually,
something
yeah.
like that in an argument, I'm like, we're not doing that.
Mhm.
The like once you realize that like 99% of when people are upset, like in those kind of things, they're projecting, it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like there's so many times at work where like someone's like upset, like a customer or something, and they say something, I'm like, you're just projecting. So like I'm not gonna take this personally, actually.
Yes. Like last week when the bus
But,
driver
yeah.
yelled at me, except I did take it personally, but I also was like, he's just sad and hates
He's
to
going
drive.
through it. Wait, why did he yell at you?
Because I was near him during his break, which I'm sorry, bus driver, I didn't know. I was just looking at the bus to figure out if it was my bus, and then he was like, are you waiting for this bus? And I was like, yeah, and he was like, do not wait here. This is where I take my break. Blah blah blah. And I was like, I just am here. Like I just wanted to see the bus.
Oh.
Were you at a bus
No.
stop?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the bus stop is also the bus stop break area. But like I was just a
That's
little bit
dumb.
away from the sign, and then he yelled at me.
Also, like,
He's
why would
definitely
you
having a
just
bad day.
assume to not be there?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, he was having a bad day.
Right. He was
Must have
projecting.
been.
Man.
That's wild.
But anyways,
Well, something that has been all over my TikTok feed, well, two things. I'm sure we'll talk about both of them. So to start is Timothy and Kylie and them being together. And specifically, I keep seeing videos, one right before this actually, Girl Boss Town was saying how they're like soft launching. I'm like, I don't know if it's a soft launch after the video at the concert. Like
Or-
that felt
Yeah.
like a pretty hard launch to me.
Yeah.
they.
I like them.
Yes,
I think
me
they're
too.
cute.
I think they're hot.
Yeah.
Okay. The video
Yeah.
of him, I saw a video of him and Kylie. I haven't been all over this, like just seen little tidbits here and there, but I saw a video of him and Kylie like waiting for the concert to start, and he was like smoking. Immediate turn off, guys. Like I thought this guy was so cute. I loved him in Dune. I think I was like, dang, Timothée Chalamet is like getting pretty high on my list. Instantly, I was like, 1, that's disgusting. 2, that's bad for your health. 3, you're indoors in public in a concert arena. I'm like,
I was wondering, is that
uh-uh.
allowed? Can you smoke in
there's
an
no
arena?
way.
Was it a vape?
There's no
Maybe.
way. I
don't
feel
know.
like no, it was a real cigarette.
Ew.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
it looked like a
understand
cigarette.
that you're French. I get it. French people smoke, and it's
But-
not that big of a deal. Fine, but you're in America, and we
Was
don't
it
like that
An
here.
outdoor arena? I don't know if that would make a
I
difference.
think it is.
but-
I think the
so.
SoFi Stadium is outdoor. 'Cause it's
Either way,
But either
I'm
way.
still disgusted. No, wait, I don't think it's outdoors. I think it can have the top off, like similar to
Oh.
how State Farm can have the top on or off, but I don't think it's outdoors.
I don't know then. That is pretty gross.
And then like the fact that he's literally standing right next to her, like practically blowing it in her face. I'm like, maybe she doesn't
No.
mind, but I
Yeah.
mind for her.
Maybe
So-
it's a turn on.
Mhm.
It's like when
For
people
her.
like blow their cotton candy bubblegum vape
Yeah.
right into your face. So gross.
Yeah.
You're like, excuse me. Anyways, that's my rant about him and them, and now I don't care anymore. I'm like, I'm done with you guys.
Okay, seeing the video
Like
of them,
you are done.
I finally
Mhm.
like everyone's always said, and I agreed. I was like, they're like, oh, he seems too little for her. Like he seems like a skinny, like she needs.
Yes.
But seeing them
Yeah.
together, I was like, actually, I think he could handle it. Like him grabbing her
Well,
butt.
they
I
fit
was like,
really
get
well
it.
together.
Yeah,
That video was sexy.
it really was.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like I've never been attracted to him until like the videos of him
Mm-mm.
with Kylie.
I'm only attracted to him in Little Women. In any other context, I'm not
When he's a
attracted.
major
But for some
simp.
reason, in Little Women,
Because he's a
I haven't
simp.
watched it yet.
yes,
I need to
So
see
good.
it.
You have to watch
I love
it.
a good simp,
Yeah, they're the best.
and I love
Interesting.
a woman that denies a simp.
Just shut down.
Yeah.
That's so funny. The other thing is Joe and Sophie
R.I.P.
Mm.
breaking up.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I'm like actually quite devastated about this, which is surprising because I don't like they're not a fave celebrity couple of mine.
Yeah.
But I'm
But-
actually so sad.
I need to look more into it because the reports I've been seeing, I feel like Joe's team, they're trying to like
They're
control
going
the narrative.
heavy
Yes.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are.
Like they're kind of making it seem like it's her fault. She's a partier and
Which is so funny. I saw videos about this today that she has like said in interviews from years ago, like, I'm an introvert, like, I'm a homebody, I don't like to stay out and party. And like, it was during quarantine, and she's like, I really like us being home because I actually get to spend time with him and all this stuff. And it's like, I think you're flipping the narrative a little bit here, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah,
But-
I don't know like is going on behind the scenes?
Also,
because
Yeah.
that looks sus on his end that
Yes.
he's trying to control the
it
narrative.
looks so sus. And also, if these like allegations are true, like she's a partier, because yeah, I feel like they try to make her look weird, like trying to be like, oh, the kids are with me all the time, like she's out doing
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm also like, then don't marry someone who's like 7 years younger than you. Like she was 23
Oh, yeah.
when you
True.
guys got married. You were like fully, I think he was already 30,
Wait.
maybe a little bit.
He
I
has a
didn't know it
history
was
of
such a
dating
gap.
younger girls.
No, I think he was
That's
30.
so wild. I didn't know.
I know. I'm like, literally, if you don't want a young, like, she's gonna act, she's in her 20s. Like,
She needs to live.
Yeah.
She's going to act young. Yeah, and I've
Dang.
seen some reports saying that like one of her friends came out and said this, which I don't know if I believe it, and this friend's kind of a snake, but said like she's regretting like or reevaluating where her life is at and realizing she got married young, she had kids young, she had a job really young and never got to live like this young, free, irresponsible like lifestyle, which is totally understandable.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I don't believe that. I don't know. Something about it all seems so fishy.
I didn't realize that they had kids.
They have,
They have two, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And they've been married for 4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They went fast.
Their second
Dang.
kid is like a year and a half. I think they had, I can't remember if it's a boy or a girl, but they had them like like 2022.
Because Taylor Swift mentions it in
Yes.
Yeah, I send your baby's presents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, the invisible strings. I
Yeah.
saw that.
I love that
Yeah, I
song.
saw a TikTok that was like, and to think Taylor Swift put a whole lyric in her song about you, and then you just go and do this.
For
It's
real.
like, well,
I'm just so sad
Dang.
because the Jonas Brothers, in a way, maybe this humanizes them a little bit more, and that's good. But like, they seem
can
like
do no
such a
wrong.
wholesome. No, not even. I mean, yes,
I
but like, they
don't
just
get
seem
that.
wholesome, very family centered, very close with each other. Like, I was really hoping that these would be like a celebrity powerhouse family where all of their like brothers have successful relationships with like families and everything like that.
yeah.
That's not going to happen anymore.
They all seem like master manipulators to me.
They seem.
And-
Really?
Sorry, what did you say?
Part of
I
that
just said really.
is because we know that when they were teenagers, they were smoking weed with Demi Lovato.
Who wasn't though?
I know, but they came off so like, oh, I have this purity
Yes.
ring. I'm so pure. I'm so holy. And
Oh.
it's like, no, you're not.
Liar, liar.
Yeah, but
Well, I
they've
think-
talked about that. It was all Disney. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think
like-
that like now every time they try to portray this like, oh, we're so wholesome image, it's like, no, I know what's
I know
going on
who
behind
you
It's
the
also
scenes.
one of those things
I don't
where it's
believe
like,
you.
It's okay to not be like that perfect, wholesome Disney person anymore. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
no one's expecting that of you, but you're almost like making me feel like I should because you keep putting off this image that's not real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
I see
I
that.
def thought it would be Nick and Priyanka.
That's what
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
been saying. Yeah.
100%.
Or Kevin and him. Okay,
Who
People
knows?
hate
I
Priyanka.
know. But like here's the thing, I could
Really?
totally see why like I don't know if you guys ever watched like Married to Jonas or something. It was Kevin Jonas's reality
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
He was like
Uh-huh.
such a man baby and like annoying husband, like very much
Really?
yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
was?
Yeah, but didn't he get married at like 18 years old or something? Like he was so young.
I
That,
don't
like,
know.
He did.
Of course he's a baby.
But
you
I feel
know?
like
He's not 18
those
anymore, though.
attitudes, I could see
True.
them being in like the men of that family, and like
Mhm.
maybe Sophie didn't vibe with that. I don't know.
Maybe.
She's just too powerful for them.
Yeah.
I saw something where in an interview a little bit ago, this could be wrong because I haven't checked my sources, but she said that, you know, we're living in Miami now. We're happy there. I definitely love living in America, but I definitely envision moving back home and being around my family and letting my kids like be raised in that education system in the UK and everything like that. So you never know too, like what maybe dynamics there could have happened. Like
that's hard.
I
didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
and
I kind of
maybe-
forget that she's British.
Yeah, same.
right? And like maybe she's at a point in her career, like I don't really know what upcoming projects she might maybe have been saying no to, where like, no, I want to be more family centered. And if she is really a homebody and stuff like that, maybe if she's rethinking her career,
Yeah.
then maybe she can be like, I'm ready to move back home and like try something different, and you're going on tour and doing all these things that don't match. That's my speculation.
Well, and like going back to the theory that like, oh, she got married young and had kids too young and now she's like kind of freaking out. Like, I don't know, like Joe, like this is what happens with when you decide to marry a young person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. That is like frustrating to me if that's true.
Right.
Well, because I think it's different when you're like, because all of us like started dating who we are with when we were very young, but we're all like similar ages to them. And so it's like you still have that time to grow together. And I'm not saying like, oh, we figured it out. But what I mean by that is like with it being such a different age gap is like they were in two very different places in life. And so it's okay if like she's like, oh, well, I want to grow. I want to do all these things. And so I think that's when an age gap like that can be hard, like if you're not growing together, I guess.
Yeah.
Which like you can have an age gap like that, but still be growing together and then it's fine.
Or he like just needs to allow her to like, and who knows if this was the case at all, but like if it was a problem of her like needing to go through her 20s and he's like, this is not like I'm an adult, like this is not me, like he needs to let her do that. Like Jacob and I, we have like a 5-year age gap, and like I feel like we've done that where he lets me be like going on all my girls trips and like doing things that I like, I'm living my 20s and like doing the things I want to do. I don't know.
That's a great point.
It's just like poor communication probably all around, where like just need to clear some things up and get on the same page. Because when you're not on the same page about what, like either way is fine, but you need to get on the same page so that everybody can be like good with it all, you know?
Or someone cheated.
I was just about to say, I'd put my money in that.
On Joe?
On him? Yeah.
Yeah.
On someone cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel such a whiplash with all this thing where like 3 days ago, didn't even care about them, didn't pay attention to them at all. Now it's like the next day, speculation that they're headed for divorce. Next day, Joe filed for divorce. Next day, they announce something. I'm like, too much in too short amount of time.
Yeah, I did not believe it at all when it was first like being talked about. I was like, no, that's just a rumor. I was like, oh, okay, it's real.
Yeah, even when people were saying, oh, he filed, I was like, I don't believe it. It's fake.
Yeah.
People are speculating that Joe and Hailey Bieber have a thing because apparently
I could see it.
I need to fact check myself before I speak any further.
I will say, okay.
So wild.
Yeah. Speaking of Hailey, did you see the video of her and Justin getting out at the road event? Mm-hmm. And like him in his sweats.
I've seen the memes about it, but not the video. I was going to say,
I've just seen I saw one video that was like doing a voiceover of what like making fun of and like satire, like, oh, this is what they're saying. And like him getting out and her being like, I told you not to wear that. And he's like, no, you just told me to come. And like, she's like, but like you could have dressed up. And he's like, I said, I'm only coming if I'm wearing this or something like that. So, but it's just like making fun of it. And it's like, he just is obviously going through a lot right now. And she is too, I think, with like having to support him through that. But it's like, just let him stay home. Like, he doesn't want to be there.
Justin Bieber, did you guys watch the documentary that came out in like 2020
Like of their marriage?
He's also another like baby child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He like yeah. Like Haley is his caregiver. Like she gives him all his meds and stuff. Like he's a man child.
I hate that. I hate all these men celebrities with like don't know how to take care of themselves or big egos or.
Well, it's like it's
Did you
got to
guys hear
stem
that?
from something. No, what happened?
Okay. Alice is screaming bloody murder right now.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
sorry.
Oh.
I didn't know if that was going to be picked up on the recording. I'm like,
I mean, if so, Winnie was barking. There's a lot going on in this
I know.
recording. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, just that like it
Sorry.
stems from something, and so like get the help that you need, basically.
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's just so sad too because they go from these like their life is such a roller coaster. They go from this point where they're like living their normal lives, whatever. Then they've been discovered and they're like living their dream and it's amazing. And then their dream isn't as great as it is. So then there's like this huge mental health decline where they're struggling because they're grinding and then they disappear for a few years and they go to rehab and they work on themselves and they're so happy and they get married and have a family and I'm in such a better place. And then it's like, wait, actually, this is me like coping with all my problems from before and I'm not actually happy and I still don't know who I am. And I'm like, oh, it's so just a terrible, terrible
It's
life.
just sad to watch.
It's so sad.
Famous or not, everyone has their own issues. Go do whatever you need to do to figure them out and stop like
Go to
putting them
therapy
on other people.
Just go to
Yeah.
therapy and work on it. It's like seriously.
Literally.
Honestly.
Any other events that have happened this past week you guys want to talk about?
This is not something we necessarily need to talk about, but while Jenny's thinking, I sent you guys the video, but did you watch Everly's
Oh my
song?
goodness.
Oh.
Okay, yes, another family vlogger. This needs to stop. I was thinking about this at work today. That poor girl.
Yeah.
Why are her parents doing this to her?
Yeah.
And like that behind the scenes they're hyping her up. They're like, this is amazing. This is so cute. And it's like any person with 2 brain cells would tell you that she's going to get freaking bullied for this.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's so bad. So the LeBrants, Cole and Sav, right? Their daughter Everly, well, I guess her daughter Everly, they had her put out a video or a song of like Taylor Swift mashup. I don't even know how you would describe
She basically
it. Like,
made all the titles of Taylor Swift's like
The lyrics.
entire lineup the lyrics of the song.
yeah,
our
it's
song.
it's
And that's how she
like our
sounds.
song, like a Dear John.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. But okay, the reason I wanted to bring it up is I don't know how true this is, but I saw a video about how Taylor Swift blocked them on everything because of it.
No.
And
Oh, she
honestly,
probably
like,
did.
I wonder if
yeah,
she's
I
gonna
would.
sue 'em.
I would. Oh, I'm sure. Like
Like, I wonder if she even can. I don't know.
at that point, like
I don't
feel like-
understand the legalities of it, but like obviously
don't
you're
know.
using her yeah, I don't know. I'm so curious.
Taylor Swift
Yeah.
loves suing
Yes.
people. I don't know, or at least her team. Maybe not her specifically, but her team. I don't know if you guys have like looked into like all of her lawsuits.
No.
But her team will go after like small
Literally.
businesses on Etsy
Yeah.
that are just selling
Mm.
like t-shirts that say like 1989 or something. Like she
Oh,
will go
no.
after
It's
them.
so crazy. She's
That's-
so crazy.
It's just so
Interesting.
wild. I feel like that is why I would be so scared to do like a sticker business or a shirt business where you're doing like stuff like that, where it's like other people's brand or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's like, even if it's like your own creations,
You're
You're
using
still, like-
their content.
yes. And so
Yeah.
it's so scary because like Disney and Taylor Swift freaking sue people for they sue
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that's just terrifying. Like if I were to ever do something like that, I'm like I would stay away from
So
Taylor
far away
Swift
from
and
those
Disney
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
as far as I can.
I hope Taylor Swift's team sues the LeBrant family, and they have to like scrap the song, take it off the internet, like
Oh my
for
gosh.
this little girl's sake.
Like,
Yeah.
I 100% support young children making stupid videos, making stupid songs, and like pretending like they're making music. Like, I think that's a fun part of childhood. Let's not put it out on like Spotify and like use it to start our singing career. Like,
Well,
you need
this
to have a
is-
reality check of whether or not that's actually good, or you're gonna get bullied, you know?
Yeah.
I think her parents 100% are like, this is going to be like a Rebecca Black Friday situation where
Yeah.
she's going to blow up. And what's going to happen is this poor girl is just going to get bullied on the internet, bullied at school. Like, her mental health is probably going to decline. Like,
And it's not her fault at all. Like, she's
Yeah.
maybe she's the one who wanted to put all this together, but it's like her parents are encouraging it.
Yeah.
her parents are the one that they're allowing this to be out on a public platform.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's another rabbit hole I've fallen into a couple times on TikTok, is just like videos of her, Everly, like looking just so sad. And like one of them was when they were telling her that they were pregnant most recently. And you can just see like she's not excited at all. She's just like, oh, okay. But it's so sad because it's like she's just literally grown up her whole life with a camera in front of her face. Like she,
Yeah.
from the age of like 3,
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
not had a normal. And so that's part of it too that like really frustrates me with like the family vloggers and all of that, and like not protecting the kids' privacies. It's like you're not even letting them grow up. You're just forcing them to grow up in front of a camera, which is so different.
Yeah.
So, because like normally, like let's say one of us had done a video like this or been like, oh, let's make a Taylor Swift song when we were kids. Like we would have recorded it. Our parents would have thought it was cute.
Yeah.
They would have showed their friends at a church get together, and then
Yeah.
it would have been over.
Like,
and we wouldn't have been bullied on the
exactly.
internet.
Exactly. And like
That's where it's like, let them just be kids.
Right. Like stop trying to make that a career out of it. That's the main problem I have with influencers in general, is that they have this idea that they can do and make anything they want, and like they'll be a success, or it will start a business or whatever. And sometimes they're not qualified. Like they can give really bad information if people are trying to do like coaching,
Health coach. Yeah.
health coaching
Yeah.
stuff, or like, you know,
Yes.
my course on this or whatever. Like they just have this
Gut
idea that they
health.
can sell anything and use any part of their life as work. And I just hate it. Like, I don't know. I just hate it.
I want to get your thoughts. This is kind of related, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts on, I guess it's a trend, but like now people like not showing their kids at all, like just regular people on like social media. Like,
I'm half and
I don't know
half.
if I explained that well. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking
like
about?
people show like what's her name, Bobby, and like
how they'll show
and
like the
Maya.
back of
Literally-
the kid,
Yeah.
but never like their face.
I feel like it's
I
a
understand
kind of
if you.
sorry. I feel like it's kind of
No,
like
I'm sorry.
I feel like it's a little bit
Oh my
like
gosh.
extra when it's like someone who's on like has a private Instagram account and like 3 to 500 followers. But you know
Right.
what?
Yeah.
I don't have a
I'm
kid.
like, okay, you're.
Mhm.
Well, and also, like, if you are someone that has like 500 followers, like, and you're covering your baby's face, like your newborn baby's face, it's like, I'm sorry, you could show me a group of 5 babies and I would not be able to spot your newborn
Yeah.
baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they look the same. Like, I'm not going to recognize your child in 5 years if you show me a picture of them as a newborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
But-
so much complexity to this conversation at all. Like it's really, really hard to get into because like in a way, everybody is right. There's no specific like wrong way, whether you want to share your kid's life or you don't. You want to only share part of them or not show their face or whatever. And it just all is like specific to that family. And the hard part is when people don't respect like that those parents' boundaries, and then they like make it a bigger deal or a bigger issue and stuff like that. So there's so much complexity to it. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and
I
there's
think
like,
go ahead. It's fine.
I love having
no.
4 people sometimes.
Brittany, you go.
All I was gonna say is I think like that's where it gets really sad is when like a family has made a decision like, oh, we don't want to post our kid on social media or like their faces. And then it's always like stories of like the grandparents who are like, I should be able to post my grandkid's face. And like, I think why it's sad to me is my understanding is a lot of their reasoning behind not wanting to post is not necessarily, I guess, kind of privacy, but more for safety of the kids because of like so many people online like taking their face and then doing a deep fake and like literally doing like very, very bad things with it. And so that's where I'm like, I totally understand that. And that's where it's like really frustrating when it's like, oh, my mother-in-law doesn't like is mad at me because I don't want her to post a picture of my kid on social media, you know? So that's like my thoughts on it is just like kind of what you were saying, Abby, just like respect their decision.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also, I think that like with the level of fame you have, like these, like if the Kardashians were like, no one is going to photograph my baby's face, I'm never going to bring them to any events. I understand that because even if they showed the world that like that baby's face, it's like everyone will see it. Like people will try and like hunt that kid down for the rest of their life, like because their parents are at that level of fame. But with like influencers who maybe aren't as like famous as the Kardashians, like if they're using their baby's face for like sponsored posts or whatever, it's like, ew, that's can get a little icky. But if you're just sharing your kid's like cute baby picture, it's like, okay, that's maybe not gonna have the same impact as like the Kardashian sharing their baby's photos.
Yeah. Or even like it's a different vibe too if they're like sponsored by some kind of baby brand and so they're like talking about it but like their baby isn't actually in the ad. It's like that even feels better than like being like, oh, this is my baby and these clothes that we have sponsored, like you should buy them. Right. Opposed to just being like, oh, like I'm gonna use it. You know, it's a different vibe too.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's so complicated.
Very it's interesting because like I don't want to believe that so many influencers are using kids like and their kids or whatever as a way to grow and to make more money, but like statistically pregnancy,
I will say it.
Motherhood, all of that will gain you followers. And then you also open your whole entire like brand up to a different market of brands and sponsorships and collabs and all those things. And like I don't want to believe it, but I do, like for everybody in every situation.
I think that's why it's important. Like I'm not saying like any influencer should never take an ad related to their baby, but it's like just be like tactful about how you do it. Like don't flaunt your baby to make an extra dollar.
And even like it's like hard because being a parent is like so much a part of your life. And if your brand is about sharing your life, it's like, how do you feel sort of like you are withholding something that's really important to you and you're almost like lying or creating this fake personality, which is not what a lot of people want to do.
Yeah,
like,
that's
they
true.
Want to be authentic and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm hiding a part of myself to protect this kid, but I want to share them. So the people who like share about being like mothers without sharing their kids, I feel like I relate to that so much more because I don't know, like, but when parents are like holding their kids up and sharing photos of the backs of their heads, it almost feels like, okay, you're making it a big deal. You're like kind of being a tease.
Just don't post the picture.
Just don't post the pictures. Like, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll feel differently once I'm a real parent. But
It really, it's so frustrating how much being a parent changes your whole perspective on literally everything. I'm like, I wish I could just have a simple life again.
yeah, that is hard.
I was gonna say, do you guys think that? Oh, well, actually, first, do you guys know the influencer that I don't even know if she's an influencer? She's a TikToker that predicts influencers' babies' names.
Oh yeah.
She had like this really great analysis on like why like specifically like Mormon families blow up on like Instagram and whatever, YouTube. And she was saying that like historically, like on TV shows, the episodes where someone's getting married or someone's having a baby, those are the episodes that get the most views and like they're everyone's favorite episode. And so like a lot of Mormons are doing this at a younger age, getting married, having babies, and people like it's like a real life TV show that they get to watch.
That's a
Abby,
great point.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
And like how they sort of like people are almost not jealous, but they look up to them kind of to represent this idealized version of like the American dream and American society of like being a beautiful young married woman with like 3 kids and a happy family and a big house, and like you've reached success at such a young age, and so you're like such an inspiration or whatever. Yeah.
But and it's almost like we think they're characters and they're real people. Yeah. Do you guys think that influencers have kids like for the purpose of getting views on YouTube or at least some influencers? Like, can you think of an influencer where you're like, I think they had a baby to get more likes on Instagram?
I think some people might rush it, or like maybe people who want to have a kid are like, okay, well, I can have a kid now, even though they may not be ready or really want it, but they're like, I'll do it because it'll help me grow or whatever. Like, it's a good time, you know?
I don't really know.
I can't think of anyone specifically that it'd be like, oh yeah, they for sure.
But I
agree, like maybe rushed it. I'm sure it happens.
I will say that I think the LeBrants have children to get more views on YouTube.
I believe it.
That.
Especially when people continue to have kids. Like maybe not their first kid, but when you just keep growing, you know?
Yeah. We were watching, this just when you were saying like actors or something like about influencers, it reminded me earlier today we were watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the first episode.
Yes.
And I was just watching with my mom and my grandma, and we had just barely started, and my grandma's never watched any Real Housewives ever. And she was like, oh, so do people think these are like, this is like really how it is in Utah since like these actors are portraying it this way? And I was like, Grandma, these are real people.
Like, this is called reality TV.
Yeah, I was like, they're real. And she's like, well, that's not really how people. I was like, it is. I was like, not everybody, but like some people are like this. And she's like, dang, that's so crazy. I was like, it's a very different life than like us. Like, this is not our reality.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who are really like
this. It is someone's reality.
It was so funny, though.
I'm so glad that The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is back on TV. I missed Mary Cosby.
Yes. I hate her so much that I love her.
Did you see in like the sneak peek for season 4, they have some event where they all dress up as pioneers?
No.
Probably to like pay homage to like, you know, Utah's
it's probably like Pioneer
history.
Day or something.
Yeah.
But like one of them was wearing like a bonnet, but they had like a fur shawl over like their pioneer dress, and I'm like, we need to have like a glamorous pioneer dinner sometime.
There was someone outside of the place that I work last night, I think, dressed in like a pioneer outfit, like handing out pamphlets, and I never figured out what it was, but it was so random. I just looked out and I was like, oh, there's just a pioneer woman.
Oh my
Did she look
gosh.
like she was like FLDS?
Honestly, maybe. I wish I could have gone and like checked. Like she definitely looked like Amish or like,
Oh, okay.
I need to
I
be
don't
more
know.
confident in asking people questions like that, like going up to those people and
Yeah.
asking them questions, because they are all looking for someone to talk to.
oh, they want to talk.
Like they want to
Yeah,
talk, and I will bait them. Like it's
Yeah.
fine, because I'll walk away just kind of having a good laugh, which maybe I'm a terrible person for that, but I should.
I don't want to talk to anybody.
when I'm in the mood, you know. When I'm
Speaking
into it.
of FLDS, the the judge that was in charge of Warren Jeff's case is the same judge that is now in charge of the 8 passengers'
Oh,
mom's
snap.
case.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
And apparently he's like pretty tough on child abusers.
Well,
Nice.
that's good.
Yeah.
As he
what we
should be.
need.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
I am creeping on Sav LeBrand's Instagram for the first time, and they had kids to
Yeah.
be famous. Just looking at this Instagram, I'm like, this girl had a child for money.
Wasn't there like a family who, I think Kenzie, maybe you were telling me about this, how they were going to adopt a kid, but the adoption, like they did, but the adoption agency said that they're not allowed to post about their
Oh,
kid. And
yeah.
so they canceled
like,
the
a year.
adoption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
on
wanted to
TikTok.
adopt a kid, I believe, from Thailand, but Thailand had like a rule you can't post your kid on social media for a year, so they didn't want
Can't
to
do
adopt
that.
a kid from Thailand.
Ugh.
And I think that that was the same family that adopted, like, I think an autistic kid,
Mhm.
and then literally like tried to give the kid back
Oh my
to the adoption
gosh.
agency because the kid had too many needs. And
These
it-
people.
Ugh.
and they
Ay, ay, ay.
specifically, like, people have screenshots
so
of them going onto like Facebook groups saying like, which like agencies like specialize in like adopting kids with disabilities, like that we're looking to adopt a disabled child. Like they like went out of their way
What the heck?
to adopt a disabled child and then tried to give the kid up.
Oh my,
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah.
Not here
Ugh.
for that.
Wild.
There are horrible people out there.
Really, really.
Yes.
And that, unfortunately, too, is also why people don't post kids on the internet, because there are horrible people out there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And also,
dang.
and I mean, this is like a total, like a different conversation, but like parents who post like their autistic children having like meltdowns or something, like that's a whole other level of
Mhm.
like exploitation and
Mhm.
evil. And it's just,
Even
so
that's a
crazy.
big topic in the parenting world too, like parenting accounts or gentle parenting accounts or whatever, like they show videos of their kids having tantrums and like showing how do I talk to them, like, oh, watch this kid go from having a meltdown to like finding a solution in 30 seconds or whatever using this parenting technique. And a lot of people get upset because they're like, we need to stop taking videos of our kids having tantrums. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
when they're older, they're being used as an example, and like when they're older, they're not going to appreciate that, and they're going to be really angry with their parents for it. And it's like, I get that it's doing good. Like, as a parent who tries to do some of these techniques, like, yes, it is actually kind of helpful to watch that, but also like
There's a
I've
different
s-
way to teach it.
there's a different way to teach
Yeah.
it. I've seen so many parenting accounts where I literally have never seen a kid like one of their kids before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do it in a more effective way with just them.
I was gonna say, I would almost rather like watch a couple recreate like a tantrum and like, this is how we
Funnier
gentle.
that way too.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like, it's kind of funny, but it's also like, it doesn't feel exploitative of the kid too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
as comical as it is, it's like you have other ways to get your message across that isn't videoing your child having a tantrum.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
Um,
and like doing silly, embarrassing stuff too. Like, take those videos because, yeah, they're funny and like share them with your family. But like, we don't need to be sharing that with the world because, again, like, it's kind of non-consensual. Like, you know, even when parents post a cute video of their kid at bath time or whatever, it's like, you know, it's such a iffy place because it's innocent, but it's also like could be really bad. So, yeah.
Before I go into my next random tangent, does anyone have any other topics they wanted to discuss from this past week?
I want to hear your tangent.
No.
Okay. I want to know if like what your recent obsession is. If there's a product or a book or a show, what is your most recent obsession?
Mine is the book Fourth Wing. I don't think I've talked to any of you about it. No, I've talked to Abby about it. It's so good. I literally the other night was trying to read The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I was just like, I can't read this right now. And so I just opened Fourth Wing and like started reading like in the middle of it again. It's just so good. And the next book doesn't come out until November, but
I saw the reveal of the book today, and I'm like, dang, I haven't read it yet, but it makes me want to actually read it.
I'll bring it to you so you can read it. But that's been my obsession, is everything that like, and looking up like theories about what's going to happen, or like it has very well done like foreshadowing, but where it's like so sneaky that like I think I was telling Abby, there's multiple times at the end when like a reveal would happen that I would like go and reread that part and be like, oh yeah, it was right there in front of my eyes and I had no idea. And so I really appreciate that. But then like watching TikToks about it and like having more things pointed out, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil any of it, but it's so good. Everyone should read it.
I will.
One day.
It's mild fantasy also, so it's not hard to get into like some fantasy
It's not
books.
like Lord of the Rings or something like that.
Nope. What else? What are your obsessions?
I just finished, I think I've decided I need to move on. So I think I have completed this phase of my Summer I Turned Pretty obsession, because I watched the second season as it came out. Let me just tell you guys like literally the timeline of what just happened in the last month. So I watched the whole season as it came out. Then I rewatched the season 1 and 2. Then I read books 1, 2, 3. Then I rewatched again season 1 and 2. And then I listened to the third book on audiobook. I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
That's okay.
But I could have a like 3-hour long discussion about the complexities of the story at this point.
I love that. I kind of want to reread that. I read
What
them
about
in
you,
like
Jenny?
middle school. I don't know. I like don't
really?
have any like. Yeah, I did. I was way ahead of the trend.
That's wild.
But I don't really have any, like, kind of sad. Like, I don't really have anything. I'm obsessed with ebooks right now for school. And I now know that I don't like
Ooh.
physical books because, I mean, this is the thinnest book that I have, like, for law school. My other books are being used right now to prop things up. But they're so heavy. And, like, I thought I didn't like online reading, but I do. So I love you, ebooks.
Interesting. Do you read on
It
a
is so
Kindle or do you
convenient.
read on your phone?
On my laptop, like for school, because then I can like highlight. Ooh, my obsession is going to the beach. I've been going to the beach in the mornings, going on hikes in the mornings by the beach.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Cute.
Kenzie?
What's your obsession, Kenzie?
2 things. Chewing gum.
Ooh.
It really does help like engage my brain, and like it just, I don't know, it just keeps me going through the day. Number 2, my new retainer. I'll be right back. I'm gonna show you.
Oh my gosh.
I want a retainer.
I haven't worn my retainer in a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And every time I go to the dentist, they're like, we do Invisalign here. And I'm like, yep, you told me last time. Yeah, I don't need to know.
Your teeth
that
are
thing
perfect. I
does
don't know
not
what they're
fit.
talking about.
They're
This
not,
is
but it's okay.
disgusting, but like a couple years ago, I opened my retainer case and found like skin from like a bug, like a shed skin from like a worm or something.
What?
I would have thrown them away.
I have not put my retainer in my mouth since then because no matter
Because
how
it's
many
in the
times
trash?
I can disinfect it, I've disinfected it so many times, I can't get myself to wear it.
I'm scared.
So that's
So,
not happening.
I am like probably the most disgusting person to ever walk this planet. And in college, my retainer fell into the toilet,
Oh,
I love
no.
but I
that.
just like washed it and washed it and washed it, and I
No,
kept
no.
using it for
No.
and I kept using it up until a couple weeks ago when I lost it, because I would never put my retainer in
Oh my gosh.
in a case. My boyfriend's behind the keys like, no. Like, I will just like throw my retainer anywhere. I'll throw it like in the laundry basket. Like, I am just like
That's pretty gross.
disgusting.
I love
And
that.
my boyfriend says that that's like one of the things I do that gives him the ick. But
Oh my gosh.
God does work in mysterious ways.
So true.
And he made me lose my retainer so that I could get a new retainer. And I had one of like the gross like ugly like metal retainers that like went across.
That's
Uh-huh.
what mine is.
Now look at my new retainer.
I wish I was in person to
Wait.
really like, get the full
can't-
It's
It
like
is
one
so
of
much
those
prettier.
clear. It's one
Uh-huh.
of those clear,
Ooh.
clear retainers, and
Yeah.
you love it now.
and I feel really cool.
That's a nice
You
case
are
also.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Do you-
Invisalign retainer.
Oh.
Dang.
Fancy.
I love that.
Maybe I need to do a Invisalign.
Well, it's not like corrective.
Oh. It
'Cause
just
I
is
lost-
that brand.
Yeah. I lost my bottom retainer in 2020, so I have like, as my orthodontist said, some relapsing.
That's what my dentist
And so-
says.
Did
Yeah.
you guys get a permanent retainer when you got them off?
No, I got the
No.
nasty metal bracelet or metal
Oh.
retainer
Yeah,
I
both
got-
of mine are metal.
covered your teeth. Yeah.
I got a permanent one on my bottom teeth. I don't know how good it's doing because my bottom teeth are a little messed up now, just a little bit. And
But
then
you
I got
know
the
what?
clear one at the top.
I think it's kind of cute, like to have like crooked
I
bottom
was
teeth.
thinking that
Like
too.
Gigi Hadid has like kind of crooked bottom teeth, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't
that's what
bother
I
me.
tell myself. I did gaslight myself into saying it's cute.
I'm just like tell
It's my
myself
top
that I'm
teeth.
like
But-
unique and like cute. and
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do think it's kind of cute. Like, I just don't think it matters.
Yeah.
My
I
top
just
teeth
need-
are pretty straight still.
I need my top teeth to stay straight. Yep. Like, and surprisingly, they have, considering I haven't worn my retainer in years. But
Yeah.
if they, like, I'm like kind of in love with my teeth, like, after I got braces. And I'm like, I need that to stay right where it is.
Yeah,
It-
that's true.
I also think it depends. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed this about a lot of people recently, but I pay more attention to people's mouths now and the way that they talk. And like, for me, I'm like an upper mouth talker. And so like my top teeth are always showing. And when I smile, it's always my top teeth. And my bottom teeth like basically disappear like all the time. But there's some people who talk like when they talk with their bottom teeth, and like you never see their
I don't
top
even-
teeth, you only
I don't-
see their bottom teeth.
When I talk to you.
And then
Yeah,
there's,
I'm
like,
trying to like watch myself talking.
I use both.
I noticed it specifically with Miley Cyrus and all of her like, oh, that's
And
another
she's,
thing
like,
that's
yeah.
been in pop culture right now for me is like
Top
the
teeth.
Miley Cyrus stuff.
I
But
love her.
all her videos that she's coming out with, I've noticed so much like she talks with her teeth, with her bottom teeth like this, and like you can see her entire mouth every time she says something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just interesting.
Love that.
Dang.
Not wrong way to do it, but I find mannerisms like that interesting. So for me, my
Yeah.
top teeth are the important parts.
Yeah.
Well, I need to go to the
Dang.
bathroom, and also I have a meeting to go to.
Okay. Oh, yes, you do. That's right.
Well, thanks for listening to us talk about all of our pop culture thoughts right now. We love you all.
We
This
Find
was
us
fun.
pretty much everywhere at Beezy's Podcast or on YouTube at The Beezy's Podcast. Leave us a little rating and review if you feel so inclined and if you love us or if you hate us. And subscribe. But we love you.
Thanks for hanging, guys.
See you next Monday. Peace
Bye.
out.
See you later.